Hello and welcome back. Our Love Calculator app is almost complete, except that we're missing its main feature, that is calculating the love score. We can enter whatever names we like, say Juliet and Romeo, but we'll always get 99% as the result right now because it's hard-coded here. So how can we calculate this percentage number? First of all, we'll need a property in our class representing the score. Let's set it to 42 just as an example. And then we can display that score property here in the template. Instead of 99, we show the value of score followed by the percent sign. And now it shows 42%, of course. But we want this score to be calculated, so using a property is not the right approach. We'll need a function. Thankfully, JavaScript also supports getter methods, which means we can rewrite this property as getScore, that is a method with no parameters, and in the method body we can calculate and return the result. Let's return 77 for now, just to show a different number. If we save this, you can see that it's displaying 77% in the browser. Note that we didn't change anything in the template, we're still evaluating score like a property. But since we have this getter, the value of score will be calculated by calling this method, right? At this point, we can actually implement the calculation. What we need to do, as mentioned at the end of the previous video, is return a number between 0 and 100, because we display it as a percentage. And this number needs to be based on the two names that have been entered into the input fields. Also, if you enter the same two names multiple times, you should always get the same result, of course. We cannot just generate a random number each time, otherwise it wouldn't be believable. So how can we generate a number based on name 1 and name 2? Well, the name properties are strings, and if we take a string, say Romeo, in JavaScript we can call the charCodeAt method to get the code for a certain character. For example, charCodeAt0 gives 82, that is the ASCII code for the uppercase R letter. charCodeAtIndex1 returns 111, that is the code for the letter O, and so on. So we could use these character codes to calculate our number. Let's give it a try. The result should be based on both names, so let's add a variable, say letters, that's just the name1 and name2 properties concatenated together. I'm also going to normalize the string by calling to lowercase. The same letter of the alphabet will have a different code depending on whether it's uppercase or lowercase, but we probably don't want to generate a different result just because the user enters the same name but with different case. Again, that would make our game less believable. Now that we have all the letters, we could calculate the sum of their character codes. So start from sum equals 0, then iterate over each letter. So for an index going from 0 up to the letter's length and incrementing by 1. In the loop, we want to add to the sum variable the value of each character, that is letters charCodeAtIndex I, right? Let's try returning this sum just to see what it looks like. Initially it's 0. If we type Juliet and Romeo, you can see that the number increases at every letter we type, and we end up with 1199%. Now, given different names, we get a different number, and that is good, but obviously 1199% doesn't make sense. We want a number between 0 and 100. How could we limit this number to be in that range? An easy way to do that is to use the modulo operator. We can return sum modulo 101. So this will be the remainder of dividing sum by 101, and the result can only be between 0 and 100. 0 means that sum is perfectly divisible by 101, while the maximum remainder we can get is 100. We're putting maths to good use here. Let's see how this works. With Romeo and Julie, we get 73%, but with Juliet, we get 88%. So that proves that different names give different results. Let's do some other tests. If we type Juliet all uppercase, we still get 88%, so the case doesn't matter. Good. And if we swap the two names, putting Juliet first and Romeo second, maybe all lowercase as well, we still get 88%. Right. So at least we're consistent in the way we generate the result. We all know that it's just a silly game anyway. There's no real meaning to this number. I mean, if this result was true, surely for Romeo and Juliet we should get 100%, right? They are arguably the most famous lovers in history. Well, actually, thinking about it, the Romeo and Juliet story was set in Verona, Italy, so maybe we should enter their original Italian names. Romeo is still Romeo, but Juliet was actually Giulietta. And look at that, we do get 100% in that case. So maybe there is some truth to this algorithm that we just made up. I'm just kidding, of course. Anyway, we could say that our app is now complete, but we could do some more styling improvements, like using Ionicons that are icons provided by Ionic. And that's what we'll do in the next video. I'll see you later.